everyone. It's Ada from Poison Rock, and with my pleasure, we give a welcome back to, can say, now an old friend of Poison Rock, Matthias. How are you?
Hello, everyone. Hi. Yeah, good to be back.
Yeah, it's been really a while because last time we spoke about was we spoke about In the Oceans, but it was kind of wrapping around their career. So
Yeah,
now let's say that finally, I'm really glad to see that the Oceans are going to there is a new album released finally. Uh, and there are two that you performed live and you're going on tour again. I think you have to tour with them. There's tour planned within the Oceans.
yeah. With Oceans, we have a tour coming up in December. We're actually coming to Italy to the
Okay.
classic Legend Club. Yeah,
Well, memories. Okay. the,
yeah.
the,
It's I've been there many times before, but
yeah.
this is the first time with Oceans, so that's gonna be cool.
Yeah, because that's I mean, come on, that's the good thing that it's surrounded by fields, plant nature. Let's say that's part.
Yeah,
That's nice. That's nice. So and so for the people to say that the same place of 2023, 2023, 24, 24 maybe 24, 24.
24. Yeah,
Yeah, when Finntroll last time played in Milano, because you played with Finntroll in Italy also. I
yeah,
think this summer somewhere you've been playing again.
yeah. Last month, actually, in September.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you're moving in it. We're exchanging part of the world.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like I'm all the time in Italy anyway, so
But I'm happy that you're going with the Oceans because it's a band that has always been also so much not underrated, but not out there a lot. And I know that you really care about the Oceans, and with the Regeneration Itinerary, which is the new album, because the last one
yeah.
was in 2023, if I remember right. This it was
Yeah,
in
yeah, that's true.
2025.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's already out. We can just kind of wrap it up a little bit because we don't have to hide anymore. Like what's in the song, what's in that.
No,
We
exactly.
can see this because of course it's the album with the you signed with the Season of Mist with this album. So it's a kind of a new turning point, a kind of new idea.
No, not really.
Okay.
No, not really. We have been actually signed to them.
Okay.
Well, in the 90s, yeah, from released
Okay.
two albums in the 90s, 98 and 99, through Season of Mist. And also we came back to Season of Mist in 2019 with
Okay.
so all the three new albums after the comeback have been through Season of Mist. So that's
That's
really
a good
good.
luck. That's kind of a good luck
Yeah.
sign. That's a good luck sign though.
Yep.
Of course, this the regeneration itinerary as a sound, I think it does. There's a big change of difference from the previous one of 2023, like in the sound generally that you move more towards another. I don't wanna because people may not, people may know you like we said many times for Finntroll, but in the oceans more like like kind of get to know more what is your maybe other type of background music wise. So within the oceans and this last album, how that changes from the previous album. I would say if there are
Yeah, I think
changes.
yeah, exactly. In 2020, when we did the first comeback album, uh, we tried a little bit what's gonna fit, what's gonna be here. It was kind of melodic, but it was also kind of aggressive album. In 2023 with Ascent Gardens, Sowing Tombs, that was I would call it like a really like a symphonic black metal album because that had a lot of really melancholic melodies. We had big orchestrations. We had a little bit of a little bit maybe of sort of electronic little vibe in it maybe, but not that much. Just a little bit. And but the Regeneration Itinerary, we went even further with the sound. We made the riffs a little bit more aggressive, and
Okay.
also a little bit more aggressive. Also, the vocals got a little bit more maybe like in your face.
It's
And
in
I
your face.
experimented a lot with different sounds, and also the keyboards and the overall vibe got a little bit more, even a little bit more electronic on this album, a little bit
Yeah.
industrial, at some points, and you know, we had a back in the day with AM God, the album from 2001, and especially Cypher from 2002. That was really an industrial album. So
Yeah,
this is nothing new for Andoceans.
yeah, that's
It's yeah, it's how to say a little bit like going back to the past, also
that's
creating something new at the same time.
keeping the old soul, keeping the ancient soul and moving with new life. I don't know, but it's a
Yeah,
but of course about the sound you are the expert here. So of course between the mastering and everything, you are the one that knows how to do the job. So no one better than you can
yeah,
understand
yeah,
how much it
definitely.
changes the sound. So, but of course, like I also think from vocal wise, the ocean is completely different from what we usually heard with other projects, because also with all your other projects you have different range of vocals, and for me personally with oceans you got the most. I mean that's one of that. I see you completely like fitting in, like that's Mathias. I know. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah, well, yeah. I think for me also, it's one of the bands that I can really put 100% of myself into, you know, and also I feel, you know, the music is something that I grew up with, you know, because we are from the same city. I've known the guitar players from, you know, from well, over 25 years. So I feel really comfortable being in that band, you know. It's something, you know, that that is really close to what I listened to when I was young, and so
it's
for me to jump into that, that was really easy to do, and also I like the fact that there are really no boundaries. We can go and do whatever we want to, you know. It's
it feels more like kind of you, all of you can expand the horizon of the music of the also of the lyric,
Hmm.
because here comes lyric wise what is screaming this album, like what is the message that you want to bring. I don't like the word message. What is the meaning of it? It's just like one, you know, like all single different song with
Yeah.
different
Well,
meaning, or it's just one straightforward message.
yeah, exactly. I've I've always done concept albums my whole life. For some reason, I'm not good at doing like albums that are just one song here, one song there. This is about that. This is about that. They're always a whole.
The whole.
And this album, uh, I tried, you know, in the past not to be too personal when I write something, but this album became super personal. Um, you know, sometimes when I get inspiration, you know, it's I wake up in the middle of the night or something, and I have something stuck in my head, and I need to write it down. And this time, what came out of the pen was really personal. I don't know how to tell it, but I think this album, well, it's about like transformation. That's what the whole album is. It's a journey. It's you know, it's got ups and downs, and it's got all these kinds of twists to it. But yeah, it became really, really personal,
But
and
it's
it's a journey through like, you know, that everything is not like black or white. You know,
there are shades
it
of
can be sometimes it's black, sometimes it's white, sometimes it's gray, sometimes it's it's
pink.
white that's disguised as black, and then sometimes it's black disguised as white. You know, so in the end, it's sort of. Also like a battle between good and bad, you
Yeah,
know. It's
the one we
it
had.
yeah. So this is like the eternal struggle between those two elements, and
Definitely.
how, you know, the other one can be disguised as the other as well, you know.
Yeah, it was a
Something that you feel that is good for you can actually be in
yeah.
the end really really not healthy or or bad for you.
I'd say that it's been
So yeah.
a transformative journey, like not just a introspective journey for you. This album, you can say, but
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
even
definitely. And there was you can really feel like when you're reading the lyrics, you can almost well, you can almost, see like what kind of a day I had when I wrote them. So I that's why, it's called the itinerary. I didn't want to use the
Okay.
word like diary or journal or something like that, but
Itinerary.
it's yeah, but it serves like a guidebook actually, in a sense.
It's a
So
beautiful idea.
if people read it, and can maybe avoid some of the the traps on the road, then I'm really happy. But yeah, but for me
Okay.
it was more of catharsis this than trying to get a message out.
I love the word itinerary, and you have an amazing idea to call it like that to add this because it's like instead of saying journey. So don't I will steal your word when I have to ask about someone musical path. I said, "What is your music itinerary?" So I will say, I will steal your word. I like it. It's a really good choice
Yeah,
of word.
yeah,
It's a really good choice of. But also,
yeah,
this year has been introspective because also you released your own person. I mean, you went really way deeper personal with the Lillmåns project. I can say your own solo. This is the first time you're celebrating. I don't let's say you're celebrating 1 year in the music, 30 year in the music scene.
yeah,
Because you
definitely.
were really young when you
Well,
started. So
sorry?
I said you were really young when you started in the music scene. So you're
Yeah,
celebrating,
well, yeah,
you know,
yeah, I was around 15 when I
yeah.
started my first band. Well, yeah, I had just turned 15.
You were young.
Uh, well, the 30 years is, it's not this year, so I'm not,
Yeah.
I haven't been here, but this whole Lil Moss project is, uh, it's going to be a long process, because
Okay.
I have so much music to share from throughout the years, and also, not only unreleased stuff because this the first releases there, uh,
So
well, they have been released locally,
in
in my hometown or
okay.
area around it, but they never got any really attention outside, my our own little small bubble over there. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm calling them unreleased material.
Okay.
And back then there was no like YouTubes or
Oh,
Spotify's or anything, so it was only CDs that were sold in like the local record store and stuff like that. So it never got any like distribution in that sense. So this is cool because a lot
yeah.
of people have been asking me about my bands before, what they were like and what and
Your music.
here we are now. And I'm
Yeah.
releasing all this kind of stuff. But as I said, so I started something like in 96 or 97 with so it's a little bit diffused. I don't really
Yeah.
remember which year it's
Okay.
exactly what, but I remember that I
That's
formed my
good.
first black metal band in 97. So so but this is gonna continue well into next year. So that's when the real celebration is
Okay.
next year. But
So you're giving it a kind of you're starting the birthday celebration like 1 year before. So
yeah,
so
yeah,
to get
exactly.
at the very end kind of gigantic full length or whatsoever like a I don't know how to call it like a special edition something like that of all these releases because until now there is a
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Twilight Moon, I forgot recording and Degenerated here that was being released 26th, 27, 26th of September, the last,
Yeah, 26, yeah.
yeah, and it's
That
kind of
was the Degenerate Years.
the Degenerate Years. And because, of course,
Yeah,
these are songs I think that are really dear to you, on both EPs. And
yeah, they are.
I mean, I was
And
just
this is why I decided to release them as like a single, well, like one single from each band, but also with some
okay,
extra material. And these will then be featured on a full-length album that is coming out hopefully this year,
okay, about
just before.
okay, about always Lillman's project. I call it
Yeah,
Lillman's
yeah,
project,
exactly.
look
And
something
that's yeah,
scientific.
yeah. And there's gonna be a lot of other bands that I had during the years is gonna be on that
Okay.
CD or I think we're gonna at least make CDs out of it, and and of course it's going to be online on all the
Available.
streaming platforms as well. And there will be a lot of unreleased material that I from the years. And of course, at some point I will also make like playlists with all the bands that I
Of
released
they
that
just
are actually out there, you know. So
yeah,
we're gonna celebrate that as well because there's a I have a
deserve it.
long list of other bands that I worked with that actually got, you know, the
Yeah.
attention it needed. So,
But
so
that
there's gonna be a, yeah, there's gonna be
a
a,
lot.
this is a huge project.
Yeah, but it's also a bit an important thing because people got to know how you like your music itinerary. We can say music itinerary, but for real, the
Yeah,
diversity of your vocals, of your voice, and also I think also how much you changed since you were like 15, 16 years old until today. Just
yeah,
taking out the you know the version of you that it's playing a character in a Finntroll in the which is fun, which is beautiful in Finntroll.
mm,
So they're gonna see
yeah,
Matthias beside of all the costumes and stages, even more deeper
yeah,
than
yeah, exactly.
that's that's what I keep on saying all the time. Like
Yeah,
it's more behind the stages, and
yeah, exactly.
and, uh, and of
Yeah,
course,
no, also I like the fact that, you know, because it was in 2005 or something. That's when I actually became a singer because before that the singing was just like it was a byproduct of the music, you know. Because I in Twilight Moon I played bass, same thing with Degenerate. On the CD there's gonna be projects as well that I play guitar and stuff like that. So I back then I considered myself more a musician or like a yeah an instrumentalist than a singer.
of
So
course,
on a lot of these
you
on
are
these recordings I also play keyboards and stuff like that. So there was just like something new because we didn't have singers in our, you know, in our, well, of course, the Degenerate that there I only do backing vocals, but it's
okay.
another other singer, and that's I was really happy back then that I didn't have to sing in this band, you know, because so I could concentrate on playing. So back then it was something, yeah, like a necessary evil that I had to do was
Yeah,
to sing. So, but that changed maybe around 2000
um,
five-ish or something like that. So then I really started focusing on the singing instead. For example, in Twilight Moon later on,
okay.
I I gave my bass to a friend, and we actually got a bass player in the band,
Okay,
and I was just singing. Uh,
okay,
but also sometimes I was playing keyboards live, but usually I was just like singing in the band, and that's when also I joined Finntroll
yeah,
like a year later or something, and that totally changed how people looked at me. I was no longer, you know, the bass player that sings or the guitar player that sings. I was
yeah,
I
for
was
sure.
I became a singer.
Yeah. But don't you, I mean, so basically you started as a bass player. Don't you miss playing the bass
Yeah,
sometimes? Or just, but with all this,
I do actually.
yeah,
Yeah, because I have my punk band back, you know,
yeah, well, that's true,
the
that's true.
dispute. So yeah,
I
that
was
was one
wrong.
day they asked me, what? Sorry?
I was going with dispute.
Yeah, it's going actually really well. Tomorrow we're gonna go to Helsinki to play, and from there we're going on Saturday to Estonia. So, but we, you know,
That's
me and
amazing
the guitar player and the drummer, they have we have so many other projects, so we don't really have time
to
to do so much with the dispute project.
there.
But I was really happy when, you know, when the guys contacted me actually 10 years ago about this. They asked me if I could come and sing on the album. I said, yeah, I can do it, but I also want to play bass. If
Yes, exactly.
that's the deal is if I'm joining the band, then I also want to play bass. And they said, yeah, why not? We don't have a bass player. So
You
it's
did.
actually really a lot of fun to be back in the,
And
yeah,
then,
in
and also
this
in
position that I was
and also in the
30 years ago.
yeah, and also with a kind of different genre because you blend a lot of different genre. Also, you mentioned playing keyboard, so between all playing all the instrument, what brought you to being to literally being a producing start studying the audio engineering, all of this, because that's what your job is about. So
Yeah.
because you can start, like I'm a musician, bye. I give the mastering to someone else.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, that was, me back in the day because I had a lot of bands and there were a lot of like good things happening with the bands, but only small things, and I could never really take it to the next level. Uh, so at some point I decided like if I'm not gonna make it as a musician, then I will do something else in the music scene. And I had already recorded some of really really basic garage demos for Twilight Moon and other projects I had back then. Uh, and I just had the chance because I was studying back then, and we had to do this how to say like we had to go to work at some company for 2 weeks and do this kind of practical thing when I was studying. Uh, and I was like really interested in how to get to record stuff. So there was a studio in the village where I lived, and I asked the guy over there if I could come there for 2 weeks and help him out. And that really like changed the whole thing because I was back then I was preparing to go to like a university or something like that, or getting education in something else. And I always thought that I would gonna want to go to, yeah, be a university guy. But that 2 weeks in the studio changed everything of it. And I was like, yeah, this is actually what I want to do. And instead of, yeah, going to the university, I went to a private school to study sound engineering, and that's actually where we recorded Degenerate projects. That was in the studio over there at the school. They had this really like professional studio that we could practice recording in, and I
Okay.
did the first the first two songs on that release, Blinded and Displacement, are from my first real recording
Okay.
that I did, and that was for I could do it like a school
Yeah.
course, so I actually got like,
So
yeah, point
you
study
saved
points
money
to do
also.
it.
You saved money also being young. But it's
Uh,
this is also an
but
interesting,
yeah, so that's where it started. Yeah.
yeah. And because we can say that all these, because of course in this Twilight Moon, this EP of the Europe, these two EP that are released of your, let's say, of these two bands at the moment, it's you remastered, or you just let them how they were, like recorded back then, mastered back then.
Uh, yeah. Actually, the Twilight Moon stuff is remastered only
Okay.
because we just did like a trying to get them to the same level a bit, and not really touching anything of
Of
the original stuff.
course.
And no editing or anything like that. It's just like I wanted to be as honest that I can. With Degenerate, the first two tracks of that one, and that was my first recording. I actually found when I was looking, I was going through all the files that I have in the basement. I was going through everything, and I found these a lot of CDs, a lot of cassettes, a lot of
Okay.
uh,
Good material.
like sorry for here we go. Sorry, there was people trying to contact me. I got a lot of WhatsApp messages. Sorry, so I needed to turn it off. Uh, but yeah, yeah. So I was going through my basement, through all this stuff, and I found actually the tracks for
Okay.
the Degenerate songs. There's a 4 song EP, and I found the tracks to all the 4 songs, but sadly, two of the songs were corrupted, so I couldn't do anything. But
Okay.
Blinded and Displacement, I actually found everything, so we did a remix. I didn't go and editing anything. I didn't,
Cool.
everything is as we played it,
Back
and
then.
I didn't wanna record anything new to it. I didn't wanna
Of
change
course.
anything. It's just to make it sound a little bit more like a little bit more like more professional, you know.
Yes.
It's it wasn't actually that bad, the version we had, but it was fun to make it sound as
Wow.
as it could have sounded. And also when you I listened to the drum tracks, they were kind of badly recorded as well because it was
Oh,
the
so
all the
sad.
like the
You were all
yeah, all
young.
the toms they were not sounding good. But that was, because
Yeah.
I didn't have any routine with recording, so
I mean,
but still it was a fun project to do, and those are remixed. The last song is from the second EP on that one, and that's only remastered because I didn't find the tracks. So yeah.
so we get because of course this is a really a kind of a also an introspective journey for yourself because you're going to start to look oh look that's me like that it's kind of the scene we can say that that Lillmåns project is it's literally going to your own basement like oh look at that when you find like old photos and you go oh okay and then you start to post them online
Yeah.
like, showing to the people that follows you like okay this is how it started and also giving a little bit of highlight
Yeah.
to the band that are still playing today like you mentioned but what which was that because of course people can say like okay I just can release one issue or one album because I want to know people get to know me with that band what
Mm.
to say okay I want to do something different I'm gonna to release not my because you gotta make your own project with your own new music without like Dilmans just something new instead you went through the past
Yeah.
just also
Yeah,
highlight
exactly.
why you just went to this like this path instead of going with new things.
Yeah, well, this was actually kind of an idea of the record company,
Okay.
Stormbound Records. That is actually the guy that is running it, the main guy. He's my like teenage friend. Well, actually, the first gig we did with Twilight Moon in '98, that was warming up for his band. So so I've known him since the '90s.
Okay.
Marco, that is. He's actually got the Italian roots. His
Oh,
Marco Luponero is his name, and
okay. Pasco Luponere.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, his dad is from Italy, uh, and but yeah, so but yeah, he contacted me some years ago when I was up to be like 25 years as an artist, and he said like, yeah, I want to do some kind of book about your career and what do you say about that? And then um, COVID happened and all that kind of stuff. So
You
we didn't
remember.
do anything. But then we got back to this 30 years, and he had started a record company now because he was fed up with his day job that he had had for decades. So he wanted to do something else. And he said, yeah, I've just started a record company. Do you have anything you want to release? And I was like, all my bands, they have record deals right now. So
Yeah.
sadly, no. But he said like, but yeah, but would you be interested in, instead of writing the book, we could do some kind of retrospective about all the bands you've had and to celebrate instead. And I was like, this is not a bad idea.
Ooh,
And
that's yeah.
it started as a crazy idea, and here we are, and we're
Yeah.
releasing stuff. So, but yeah, as I said earlier, that there were a lot of people asking me about all these bands because you can find on like Metal Archives, you can see
Yeah.
all the
Of
bands
course.
that are listed, and people are asking me about those bands,
You are really giving them
yeah,
a
and I
this is take it.
yeah, 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 and
First
so
of
yeah, that then people can,
yeah.
yeah, and I think it's fun to see that people can actually see where I come from, what I've done
Like,
before.
and of course, I think it's gonna be like you said. There's a lot still yet to release. So you're planning to release like
Yep.
monthly, or like there's something that we don't want to say nothing that people.
Uh, no, this was kind of like two singles to start
Okay.
this off, and then and the next step is actually in time for Christmas to
Okay.
get a full CD out with a lot
Okay.
of bands on, and of course we're gonna talk about these bands like we
Okay.
did about these bands on the way.
Okay.
So there's gonna be, I'm gonna have details, and I'm gonna have
Of course.
inside information about all the projects that I've had
Okay,
on
that's
the
like
way.
for Christmas. Okay, but that's
Yeah.
really cool. I mean, maybe back then we will do an interview throughout crossing the sea because it's just so 1 hour. It's literally close.
Yeah. The plane is like 50 minutes. So.
Yeah, yeah, because and it's not that even expensive. It's gonna be a little bit cold for me, I guess. I have to get used to it now. But of course, and before we end, Matthias, I just want to ask you because, of course, we don't want to forget about Finntroll also. There is a tour also coming up in 2026, if I'm right, with
Yep.
Finntroll, Trollfest, and then I don't remember else. There's
Korpiklaani, yeah.
Klani, and
Korpiklaani,
yeah,
Heidefolk, yeah.
Idlevolk. It's kind of a party. It's like a big festival. Itinerary, the word itinerary, you should get tattooed some moms.
Yeah, it's a good word. It sucks to pronounce,
Yeah,
but
exactly. Itinerary, whatever it is, doesn't matter.
yeah, exactly.
So you will
But
start.
yeah, we actually we did a lot of these Heidenfest and Paganfest tours
Yeah, I
in
remember.
between 2010 and 2014, 15,
Yeah,
something like that. We did at least once per year some of these, and then I think they were a little bit too much of them back then,
yeah,
and so people started losing interest in them
of course.
after a couple of years. But now they have had this break with these, so I think this is going to be an awesome tour. They're going to sell
Yeah,
really well because now
yeah,
people are actually a little bit like, oh yeah, this nostalgic thing. Yeah, we need to go
yeah. No, that,
again, and it's going to be a fun thing to do because I remember these were really fun to go on. It's
yeah.
of course it's a little bit dangerous to go on these when there's like 4 bands on 5 bands, 6 bands on the bill that are your friends, but
Yeah, because like, of
but
course, but it's gonna be also fun because so you will start in December with the and the oceans. You will continue with the Finntroll. I mean, there are also dispute. There's no you can there maybe in some you're gonna take a holiday after all.
no, the summer that's
No,
festival season. So
oh fine,
yeah,
yeah.
no,
Admit.
yeah, I'm definitely hoping to have like a break in the spring. Actually, that would be nice. So.
Yeah,
But probably for me, usually having a break means that I'm working
well,
for Rock Camp,
rock camp, yeah.
the youth work that I do.
That's
So
amazing. And then that's a beautiful thing that we will cover. But like I said, we are 15 minutes far with the client. So next time we cover in part because that's a beautiful things about rock camp and because it's about contemporary music also. But there are people because this in Scandinavia, seeing also doing this with other musician for kids going throughout the
yeah,
school, maybe with Northern instrument, Northern with history. So it's a beautiful thing that you
yeah.
see the contemporary and the ancient music explained by musician.
Hmm.
School working with kids, it's a beautiful. So maybe next time we're gonna think more about that because it's another aspect.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I would love that. So Matthias, thank you so much. It was a pleasure seeing you again. Again, I'm sitting in front of a screen, but see you next time without screen. Again.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Yeah,
It
perfect.
was, it
And yep, and
was a pleasure.
yep. Goodbye. And to all people out there watching, check out the Andoceans tour. It's
Of
gonna be
course.
cool.
Of course, and
Yeah.
always also your current project, Lillmåns, Finntroll, all the
Yeah, of
projects.
course. Yeah.
All the
Yeah.
projects. Bye, Matthias. Seeing you in Scandinavia this time.
Bye bye. Bye
Bye. Bye.
bye.